What's going on? We are live. I just set up Restream so I can stream to YouTube too. I'm like testing all this stuff out. The chat is like super big. See if I can like zoom out. The chat's like... Alright, I guess this is fine. I don't know why it's so giant. Let me post this on X. But this should be fun, guys. Just gonna do a chill like research stream today. I haven't really done one of these. I feel like this would be kind of fun. Posted that article the other day, or yesterday, on just trading, mentioned markets in general. Hopefully you guys found it. Man, this OBS chat thing that I brought in is like super... Oh, you guys can't even see the chat. Only I can see the chat. Very interesting. Okay, I guess I'll keep the chat then just separately in this tab. Zeno, what's going on? This is like the first person tuning in from YouTube. I feel like I used to make so much content on YouTube. And then like I've just been doing X lately. So I'm trying to like give some love to my old YouTube channel and like cross post more there. So I just set up Restream to stream to YouTube. I'm probably gonna add like a Twitch, stream too, eventually. How do I post this? Can I not post this stream link with... Weird. Like, won't let me post from X. Let me see if I can. Hopefully it like embeds the live broadcast. Yeah, it does. Okay. Let me post this in Discord. I want to start too. I was talking about this in the Discord, but I want to start also, because I made a Discord like a week ago. I also want to start using the Discord more in streams, like joining the voice channel. I think that'd be fun. Have people be able to like call in, talk through a bunch of positions. Schedule for today, I'm going to be researching. We have Tesla earnings call tomorrow at 4 p.m. I really like earnings because they are pretty consistent. So you can kind of just data mine them a little bit with transcripts. And then we have NYC mayoral debate tomorrow. I'm setting up a pretty big stream for that, similar to what we had last week. Some fun guests should be coming on. Ben, if you guys know him, he's been doing a ton of like research in general on like the mayoral election and like some of the markets there. Obviously, I haven't played a lot of political markets, but I kind of want to get into it. I've just been doing mentions lately, but I do want to like eventually expand. All right, I lost my chat that I'm using Restream now. See if I can pull this back up. What did I just do? Fix this. Bear with me. I'm using Restream for the first time, just figuring all this out. Where did my chat go? Here it is. A research stream, slow content day. Yes, Gaten, that's exactly what this is. All the mentions that came out today, like these Trump speeches, were like super last minute. So they added the market super late. So I didn't know what to, I didn't have enough time to like build in position my announcer markets that I played. What was my video freezing there? But I played the NFL announcer markets last night and Sunday. I don't think they could have gone any worse. I mean, let me pull them up here. But we had. All right, let me reconnect my Camo Studio. This is like very slow. Come on, Camo. Let me bring my camera back in here. All right. It's back. It's good quality. But yeah, this has been like a pretty brutal week. We played announcer market yesterday. Look at this. I mean, we played this pretty small too. Gosh, I like either need to make this. Let me make this bigger. Here, I'll make myself smaller here. So I can make this a little wider. There we go. But we lost 800 yesterday, which, like, again, I only had $800 in positions, which is a lot smaller than I normally do on these announcer markets. But what's going on, Jonas? But literally yesterday, both inch no hit, which, okay, it hits pretty frequently, but like there's a ton of value there. I didn't have a big position on inch. You can see only $200. But one-handed hit yesterday. And like, I won't give the exact odds of that actually hitting, but like there's so much value taking no one-handed. So we got completely cleaned on yesterday's announcer mention. I mean, just, it was crazy how many words hit yesterday. And then we played Trump's mention yesterday. Lost like $200. Not a big loss. But then the NFL announcer market Sunday that I posted about, we lost $1,200. So we're in the hole like close to 2,500, 2,200 to start the week. Do I do this full time? Yes, now I do, Jonas. Starting like 3 weeks ago. I'm sorry, because you're coming from YouTube, and it's like, I used to post so much to YouTube, right? But like, if you don't follow my Twitter, I kind of stopped posting to YouTube frequently, and like, I post to Twitter like all the time. I'm gonna start, Jonas, posting to YouTube more. But yes, I'm now doing content full time. I partnered with Kalshi through the Kalshi Eco, and then I'm also trading as well on top of that. But yeah, anyways, we're in the whole like little over 2K this week. Let's get into actually some research, though. I won't harp on it too much, but we got to come out of the depths here. Obviously, got to try not to change up my strategy. You know, don't let downswings, like, impact you, but obviously it's not the best, especially when, like, we were so unbelievably close. Like, we lost in the fourth quarter, like, two times in a row on inch. But Tesla earnings, let's kind of get into this. Again, I haven't looked into this yet, but I love earnings calls because I do personally have like a whole data dump available of like all the last Tesla earnings going back to like 2017. So we can like kind of data mine the hell out of this. Granted, like a lot of people already are, but let's see. I'm going to update the data I'm looking at. I want to just look back to like 2023 maybe. Like, won't go too far back. Okay. Yeah, let's look back to like January 2023. Thanks, Jonas. Good to hear. You should follow me on Twitter, Prediction Market Trader, same handle. Did I do the OpenAI browser one? No, I didn't, but I had so many people messaging me about it. That was like an insane market. Yeah, that was wild. I mean, I don't know how, like, there were all these talks about it being an insider. I guess, like, AE News people were saying was, like, a big person who had gone heavy on the OpenAI browser market. But a lot of people tailed, assuming it was some insiders. I don't know if they were actual insiders. They probably just found information somewhere that was, like, really pointing to this browser being released. But that was a crazy market. Yeah, I mean, I guess like I don't typically play in like suspected insider markets because like I'm not gonna throw a bunch of money down just trusting that whoever's making these big purchases knows what they're doing. Granted, a lot of the times they do. I mean, you can see in like the, um, what was it? The um, award market for Nobel Peace Prize. Like that's exactly what happened. But like it's not always the case. A lot of the times, people who are placing these big bids and just like moving order books are just kind of dumb. Like I think a couple months back on the Peace Prize market, somebody was throwing like 100 grand on Trump to win the Peace Prize. Like you could be, is this inside information or does this guy have an edge? It's like, no, it's probably just somebody loading up. And prediction markets are new too, so like a lot of people don't understand. Yeah, you're right, Hansa Fine. Like the fact that this one was, I think it was like 4 wallets or maybe 5, and it was just one person like spread around them. Like, yeah, it gives you more, at least that it's like a more sophisticated person probably doing this. Soup Yahtzee, you like Cybertruck? Yes. Let's look at this. All right. So it looks like Cybertruck did not come up in Q4 or Q2. Am I crazy here? Supercharger, yes. Grok 4, no. This feels pretty like these Tesla earnings feel somewhat like vibe based. I mean, Supercharger hasn't been mentioned in 6 straight earnings calls. Let me make sure I'm also capturing if there's like a space. Yeah, Supercharger hasn't come up in 6 straight earnings calls, so probably like the no there too. Is there any reason they would bring up Supercharger now? Like I don't follow I don't follow Tesla closely enough to know like vibes wise kind of what's going on. 500 kilowatt. What is this dated? September 29th. Yeah, you're right, Jared. But like, is there any information that's happened with Tesla's climate? Like, I guess like from a vibes point of view, is there any big developments on their superchargers that would cause them to want to like say supercharger? Because like from a pure transcript mining, if I remember correctly, there was some news recently about supercharging opening up to other non-Tesla EVs. Need to double check. Interesting. So they're like building out an actual business model for other EVs. All right, let's see. Hopefully ChatGPT doesn't dox me somehow. Oh, it might. I gotta be careful. Wait, what does the stream see when I show ChatGPT? Oh my gosh, it's cut off by like a second. You guys almost could have known my full identity, but I'm actually not that. I mean, I'm not that afraid. But okay. Like, let's look at supercharging. Is that why? Yeah, supercharging gets mentioned all the time. Like, supercharging going back to like 2023 is hitting like over 50%. Yeah, you're right. Non-Tesla EVs, superchargers. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much to give to the fact that like how big of a development is this? This whole like non-EV. No, supercharging wouldn't count. So don't worry about it. But like I always think about stuff like that because a lot of the times where you'll find value is people thinking different conjugations count when they actually don't. Um, like just how like recent of a development is this? Tesla's opening up supercharger. Tesla has officially opened up across 21,000. Ad supported, and the Netflix earnings call was an example of this. Yeah, so this was really recent. This was a week ago. It's the only thing that like I guess scares me a little bit about this. You know, looking at historical data, supercharger is like definitely undervalued for taking the no side. But yeah, I mean, I'm pulling up where they mention it in the actual earnings calls. Like they do refer to it as supercharging, like way more frequently than supercharger. So even if they bring this up, I think it'll be a supercharger mention. The only person who's, interesting enough, said supercharger is Elon himself. So the last time they said it was Q4 2023. And Elon last said it officially when he was talking about oh gosh, literally. Why? See, this is the issue with these research streams. There was like 500 at 66. I was thinking about it. Yeah. But, you know, is what it is. I wasn't even making a final statement on if I liked it or not. I was leaning towards liking the no. But that's out of my control now. I guess I can place a little bid. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how big. Like Elon Musk, I assume, is speaking on all these Tesla earnings. I mean, I assume, Raw, there were like 1,000 shares available, I want to say, or like at least 600 up to like 70 cents. I don't know why else somebody would like. I mean, I don't know. Maybe somebody just. It's just that's happened so many times that I assume it was somebody on the stream, but I don't know. Does I guess it's not guaranteed that Elon speaks on every one. I think that's kind of distinguishing factor a little bit. If Elon Felipe says it's the guy earlier in the chat pretending he went for a run. But if Elon is on the earnings call, it's going to, I would say, like, improve the odds as well. Like, if he's talking on it. So I assume he will. But let's see. Yeah, Elon's coming to this one. And like from what they say, there doesn't seem to be a focus on the whole supercharger thing. So yeah, I mean, whoever got those shares, I think that's value at 65. I will put a bid in. I will. Sure. Scheduled event start. I'll leave my little bid up. But I do want to look at the NYC mayoral debate. For tomorrow for sure. So let me see. Let's run through a little more on this, like, Tesla earnings. Probably not going to focus on like all these other bonds. Are there any other interesting ones? Is something like 95 regulation worth it? Let me see. To be honest, I think people underplay how good bonds can be. Like, I'm part of that. Like, I don't play bonds enough because, you know, to a lot of people, it's hard to convince them, like, hey, you can put up $1,000 and earn $50. But if it's like a very high probability, NBA are getting mentioned for the announcers. See, this is what I was saying. Like, I wrote that article yesterday. I had like a small piece where I talked about it. But I mean, something just to highlight for you guys, if you're really trying to be profitable, you know, on like prediction markets, Kalshi, and you want to do like mention markets. I mean, I love mention markets. They're great for content. There's so many other verticals though. Am I always going to do mention markets for streams? Like, no, eventually I'm going to like branch out more. But like what Jared is saying in the chat about the NBA mention markets, having new markets like that, you know, where they're completely unsolved. What's up, Loxy? What's up, Cool Benz? But I'm saying with the NBA announcer markets, having new markets that are very much unsolved, right? Like, people have not data mined NBA announcer transcripts, okay? So if you're like one of the first people to dive deep into that and look into that, there are a lot of edges to be had, you know? And I can just say that for like seeing new mentions, having been through them when a new that's when these markets are going to be most inefficient. I always joke about inch no because that's always my play, but like at the start, because you intuitively would think they always say inches, like I could buy inch no at like 19, 20 cents and it's now up to like 35 cents. Yeah, it's never a lock. I mean, I assume you guys understand this, but you know, what a lot of people won't understand when you think about like plays and stuff, like you're trying to find an edge, right? There's no guarantees. There's no like actual locks, right? Like theoretically, if I'm taking, let's say if I do my own analysis, again, I'm throwing out random numbers. I'm not giving actual numbers here, but if I were to do my own analysis and inch hits in like 45%, or it hits in 60% of games, right? So yes, inch would hit in 60% of games, but it's trading at a 70% likelihood, right? Like you got to take the no there because you're going to get, you know, you're getting in on the no at 30 cents when it should be priced at 40 cents. But obviously you're only going to realize that edge over like a longer time frame. So just something to like think about, obviously, like with anything, thinking probabilistically, like there's going to be variance. So, you know, anything of this domain, so, you know, you got to be willing to like take variance and take that. That's what I've been talking about with sizing up more, like, you know, Sunday, where I ended up getting like close to 4,000 shares of inch no. You just got to be creative, Jared, you know. But yeah. Anyways, going back to Tesla. somebody was asking about regulation. We were talking about bonds. Let's look at this, like, because I'm curious too. I mean, would I bond this at 95? Here, let me see. What's up, Varunk? We're looking at Tesla earnings. We're going to pivot soon, though, to... All right, I just want to look at this regulation thing really quick. Okay, would I bond regulatory at 95? 100% not. This isn't a bond. This is a very high frequency of this getting said, but there are 100% worlds where this is said. Oh, they don't put transcripts, you say? Oh, maybe you're not creative enough. But yeah, they're probably hard to group. Okay, let's move over to, well, I guess, are there anything else on this, like Gigafactory? I want to look at some of the more fun words. I do think if you can get in on Supercharger, no, probably some value. Do I trade stocks? No. I'm actually like kind of a big proponent against trading stocks. And I say that because I'm sure you can make money trading stocks, but like it goes back to the reason I love prediction markets, right? The stock market is unbelievably efficient. There are billions, trillions of dollars over time wagered on the stock market. And I mean, you have institutional players like hedge funds, prop firms, you know, where it's their day job, day in, day out to price things correctly, you know? So like as a retail participant, I don't think it makes a lot of sense to try to trade stocks and go up against like institutional money. Maybe the one exception is if you trade in like very low market cap stocks to where the volume is so low or liquidity is so low that like institutional money is not going to bother. Maybe there you can find some edges. But that's why I love prediction markets, and it's why I love like even side categories, because like even on prediction markets, the top markets are going to be very efficient, right? Because you have people like Domer, 50 pence, all them spending, you know, $1 million in a position, like the election market, like presidential election, like that's going to be one of the most efficient markets, you know, in the world. I mean, I say that, but also like there's going to be a lot of inefficiencies, but mentioned markets like low liquidity markets where it's not really that profitable for top traders or whatnot to like spend a ton of time, are going to be priced very inefficiently. So I would not recommend trading stocks. I would recommend trading prediction markets, I guess. I have all my money in index funds. But I would love to trade stocks. I mean, I loved following markets. I used to be a CPA, so I was working on 10Qs, 10Ks. Like, I loved the environment. There you go, Varun. Good advice. Don't compete with those guys. All right. Couple more. We look at this. What are they talking about with... Tesla earnings. Prediction markets are layer 2 stock trading. Trump saying tomahawk 10 times boosts military stocks for sure. Yeah, that's pretty funny. All right, I'm looking at just a quick preview here on Yahoo Finance. Robotaxi. I will maybe try to accumulate a little position in no Gigafactory. I don't want this ended today. Let me put this at scheduled event start. I love that they introduced that scheduled event start feature, by the way. That is like so nice to just be able to like set it to stop at scheduled event start. All right, what else to look at here? Just going quick. But yeah, I kind of like Gigafactory No here. The current prices. And then what do we think about competition? I will dodge that. And then Shutdown's going to be cool. That's all vibes. Grok 4. Wow. Really? 28% Grok 4? I mean, they did mention this at the last earnings call. Why did they spell it without a space, though? Shouldn't this be with a space? Like, huh. I wonder if that's going to be like a resolution dispute. Okay. Let's get into the mayoral debate. That's going to be a cool market to watch. And by the way, yeah, we are going to be doing a big stream for the mayoral debate tomorrow with a ton of guests going through it. I don't have this in my tool I use for transcripts, so let me pull up. Let's pull up the last mayoral debate. Am I in the Kalshi Discord? Yes, I am. By the way, let me check. Tesla just got Grok 4 integration for voice commands, etc. I mean, they said it on the last call. Could be value. Oh, Jared, you're in the... I didn't even see you're in the call. In the... All right, let me see. Okay, mayoral debate. Let's look at this. Don't have any positions yet, but man, how is like the volume? I mean, I know it's going to pick up to probably like 1 million, but I'm just surprised people are like taking so long to trade this. Besides Ole Miss, getting in on any college football lately? Believe me, I am, but like I'm technically up on college football, but like I have no edge in college football, you know what I mean? But I always will play college football for fun. The other, I mean, my one feel for college football is that, what is it, Bama is at South Carolina this weekend. I think Bama is just overhyped, so I could see them losing to South Carolina, but I don't know. It was a super close game last year. I like taking underdogs in SEC matchups, especially if they're away. Didn't work out for me last weekend, let me tell you that. But again, I'm always doing. I do like $100 unit size when I'm doing college football because, you know, I don't have an edge there. If I'm just playing money line and stuff, I do have an edge in certain like specific trades I'll do in college football, like in the futures market. If you do good on vibes-based prediction, college football is great. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like, I'm so bought into the idea that, like, sports is so well-known and, like, so researched that, like, finding a edge over a long period of time is, like, extremely difficult. But I guess college football, it's definitely not as, like, refined as NFL. the DraftKings acquisition of that Railbird exchange. I think that's really cool. It's been talked about for a really long time. Like I want to say like 6 months back, there was talks about them acquiring Railbird, but it looks like it officially. Do you guys know? Did they just sign like an agreement to acquire them, or is it like? I guess Railbird's not even public, so it's not like it'll take probably that long for them to close. But I think that's really cool. I think that's bullish for the industry as a whole. I mean, do I know how AI Bets trade sports? I haven't talked to him directly, but from what I've garnered, he's probably just, for the most part, market making sports. I know he was not happy and still is not happy with, because now there's maker fees for the broker connected markets that I think he was like upset about. So I assume he's more so just like a market maker, but I don't know. Yeah, Cool Benz seems to be just agreeing with me. I mean that's what I think. That's where most of the money is. All right, let's see if we can pull up a full transcript of this mayoral debate. Here we go. Rev coming in clutch. Rev.com, by the way, for transcripts, guys, is pretty helpful. Thankfully, they removed a lot of the bonds that we saw last time, like crime, all those other ones. I mean, kind of fun to have. Swing trading a lot. I mean, you can definitely find edges live trading sports. Am I paying for Rev? No, I'm not. I do pay for a transcription service I use. Pretty expensive. I pay like $100 to $200 a month, but it's a really sick tool. But like I don't think they're sharing it with people where he doesn't want to. I don't know. I don't think he wants to like publicize it. This is what Rev is. Let me show you guys. It's literally just like if you Google search for a transcript, this is probably what'll come up first. So like I Google searched NYC mayoral debate transcript, and I get a free one on Rev. But it's interesting, this market is taxi only came up. Wait, what? I mean, I'll just try to be a helpful little maker here. I'll add some bids. I'll do it before scheduled event start date. I wish though, once I do that once, that it would. Oh man, people are getting jumped here. It's the $3.99 bid, so I know that has to be some maker, because I swear he's on like every. Oh my gosh, it's an automated maker. Look at this. Look how painful this is. Like, what is this guy's set price? Look at this. He just wants to close up bids. This has to be KT. I don't know who it is. Like, look at this. Look how high this goes. All right, whoever this guy is. Then the bid immediately goes down to 16. That is annoying. I know, honestly, I'm like, how high would he go? Let me just do a test. All right, so he comes out at 50. I go back to 30. Yeah, he's not coming back at 30. All right, I'll lower back down to 20. All right, we got him out. We fooled him. I broke his bot. No, I do not trade stocks or options like ever. I'm just all in on index funds. I do not advise trading stocks or options. Ah, he's back. Must be because I was like adding size. If I go to 40. Oh my gosh, dude. This guy's fair value for this is like so high. It is amazing. If I wanted to get the yes side, I could like manipulate whoever this is. I guess I'll set it to 100 shares. Is that below his level? I mean, what the hell? This is like stupid. Can I do 250 or is he just going to come on top of me with size again? All right. All right. That took way too long. Okay, but yeah, taxi was only said once. Socialist, probably just a complete bond. But wait, am I looking at the right thing? How are you coming to your decision for these? Basing it mostly off last debate? Yes, basing it mostly off the last debate. I mean, last debate, I did a lot of research because we didn't have prior debates, so into them speaking. For these, I don't, like, there's only so much data you can mine, so it's kind of got to be a lot of vibes. But personally, I like using the last debate pretty heavily, and then using it in the sense of, like, if they... you know, if a word was priced at a very high likelihood last debate, but they happen to not say it, it's probably going to drop in price pretty significantly for this debate. So, you know, you got to think, is that fair? And the flip side of that is, like, if you have a word that was said in the last debate, but it was unlikely, so it traded at like 20 cents, 30 cents before the debate, they happen to sneak it in, maybe it'll trade at 50 cents this debate. Like, is that fair with that one sample size? So I'll definitely look at like words that were said in the last debate and just see like the context of when they came up. Because if some of these words hit because of a very specific directed Q&A question from one of the moderators, and now they're trading at a premium, it's like, well, you know, you can't base that off that one time. And if they asked that question last time, you know, it's probably not going to come up again. Only examples are... Do you already have plays for this, Loxy? That you're doing? I guess let's... Loxy's going to be on the stream again tomorrow, guys. So we're going to... Loxy, we got to keep some of our plays, you know, hidden for now. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. We got to get position sizes first. Wait, what mayoral debate am I looking at? Like, what the hell is this giving me? Why am I seeing so many other speakers?
Pushing New Yorkers out. Crime concerns. From the subways to the streets. Fears of deportation.
Oh my god, I'm not even looking at the right freaking... Oh, your account's completely public? Yeah. I think mine is too. I don't know. Do I have my positions? Wow, I didn't even go to the right rev. But I was looking at the primary debate.
Government Affairs reporter Melissa Russo.
All right, let's see. So how many times did taxi actually come up in this last debate?
When you need to get somewhere fast and you can't.
Okay, that's a moderator.
For working class taxi drivers.
Yeah, so taxi really did only come up one time last debate. Ah, this guy's above me again. All right. Okay. Whatever. He can do whatever he wants. Subway, I'm not going to play with. It's getting mentioned all the time.
guardsmen in the
So Eric Adams, how many times did he come up?
state.
Silva really likes to bring up Eric Adams. What's interesting is this is just Eric / Adams. So like any Eric could come up for this. Rat is a funny one. I'm so happy they added this as a strike. Guys, there's like 40, 50 strikes. Like the opportunities here, you're telling me none of these are going to be undervalued when there's 50 freaking strikes? That's pretty crazy. Like almost 50 strikes for this debate. I mean, but let me look at Rat. I remember it came up live. I thought it was a funny strike. You're surprised Luigi Mangione is at 26? I mean, I would gladly come in on no here. Has there been any additional news on Luigi Mangione lately? I don't think so. Has anything come out? Oh, wait. It looks like there might have been new news on Luigi Mangione. I mean, if there's no new news on Luigi, like... But, like, Czar's a good one, right? Because it's a good one to think about. Let's pull up what was Czar last time. Hey, Duck, what's going on? Duck, by the way, is like probably the most legendary mentions trader. Trying to find the old NYC mayoral debate. What are my picks so far for the debate? I mean, I just talked about Tesla picks, but I don't really have any picks yet for NYC mayoral debate. But I'm gonna be finalizing my picks for tomorrow, and then I'm doing a big stream tomorrow on the mayoral debate. Right now, I'm just trying to do some research, and I figure I missed all the Trump speeches today because they were all added so late. All right, let me find the old mayoral debate because I wanted to think about odds. Like in the sense of how are these priced going to last debate? Are they now going to trade at a big premium? Is this market not closed yet? Oh, you're on Supercharger? No? 4,000? See, I gave out. Wait, was that you who did that big Supercharger no purchase? I was looking at it live and somebody just like ate up the whole order book. I mean, they're only like 500 to 1,000. But why can't I find the NYC debate? Oh, here we go. Okay, so I just want to look at like, yeah, we lost $40 on this debate, by the way. All because he didn't say freaking Italian. Oh, you had it over the past week? Yeah, okay, it was probably someone on the stream that bought it then. because I was going to try to accumulate a lot of it. All right, Czar. Czar traded close to like 50, 55 last debate. What's it trading at now? Wow, is this all the way down? Like, it's trading pretty low, you know? So these are the types of strikes that you got to think, like, are they going to be oversold? Will I put in a bid? Yes, I will. Will I get penny jumped? Most certainly. But, like, if I could get in at 30 cents, I definitely would. Because, you know, one sample size of a debate, Mamdani does love to bring up Czar. They didn't ask about World Cup last time. They could ask about it again. It's an interesting one. Wow, this one's actually really interesting. Let me see.
To New Yorkers, the Democratic Social.
Huh. Dang. Capitalist capitalism is a super really interesting strike. Does Kalshi require KYC? Yes, it does. They're regulated by the CFTC, so, like, you know, you need KYC. I assume Polymarket US will have KYC. I mean, I don't know how they wouldn't. Wow, capitalist capitalism is a really freaking interesting strike. Because capitalism alone traded at like 55 last debate. Yes, confirm, no Luigi mention. You can also just look on my screen. This is the last debate. I don't think Luigi gets mentioned again. So if I could get no's at like 75, I would. But capitalist capitalism is super cool strike. How did he respond to this question? Let's see. This is where he got asked about it.
To New Yorkers, the Democratic Socialists of America, which believes in dismantling capitalism. New York City is the global headquarters of the finance industry. So how would you be the mayor of Wall Street and the DSA? You have 1 minute.
I would be
So she explicitly asked to use capitalism in the question.
mayor of this entire city. And that means ensuring that the wealth that we generate in this city is also wealth that every single New Yorker can actually feel.
Interesting. I think by the way, yeah, I think capitalist capitalism is very interesting and kind of attractive to me because capitalism was trading at like 60 cents pre-market in the last debate. And I talked about this actually in our NYC debate stream that I didn't like capitalism as a strike that much because it didn't include capitalist. Because I just off vibes, it feels like you would say capitalist more than capitalism. And now the strike includes capitalist and capitalism, and it's trading at near a 20-cent discount from what it was pre-market in the last debate. Probably just because they didn't say it in the last debate, but like, does that take away all the merits that this could come up again? And now you're getting value from both capitalist and capitalism? It's an interesting strike. I'll definitely put a limit up, but I mean, could even market buy potentially. I don't know. Need to do more research, but just trying to get some ideas on this. This market maker guy just coming in on all these. Like, what's his fair value here? All right, I got him out at 30. I guess I'm close enough to the other bids. Billionaire 3+ times. Let's see. So that's Mamdani.
Talking about how I wish it was more like his billionaire would rather have.
Interesting. I'll set. Okay, my microphone's back. I don't know what just happened. Yeah, I'm gonna get jumped again by whoever is this automated thing. This has to be some like freaking market maker. This is like annoying. Just auto 1 cent hops you. It's just probably trying to. It's probably just trying to cut down on the spreads. So I mean, it's good for the exchange. It's just annoying. Man, this is kind of slowing down on me. It probably is, Loxy. This isn't like a... I'm not no high conviction no on 3+ billionaire. I just think there's value. It came up 4 times last time. And, you know, 3 of the mentions were in the first 20 minutes. Then they went like 40 minutes without saying it. Then they went an hour without saying it. Yeah, he did say it 4 times the last debate. But, like, you know, 1 sample size. How do you... I like M-Dog. But look, when I pull my bids, see, then KT pulls its bids. So, like, that's annoying. Whoever that is. But look, it is good for the exchange. But how high does this guy go? Like, what's your price? Okay, now I'm at 50. He doesn't want it. I don't want this at 50. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'll just sit out on. I mean, $31. Fentanyl, no. I like this strike. We'll see. Do I get jumped? I don't get jumped. Good. Yes, Italian. I mean, I didn't say it last time. Do I ride Italian again? Do I want to get killed again? I'm going to get jumped here. I know it. I'll put in a little bid. Yep, jumped. So what's your fair value, Mr. Maker? What is your fair value? All right, so I'm top of the book at 35. Take this down to, okay, 34. Bet. All right. I'll potentially ride Italian again. I mean, I'll see. Florida. Huh. Florida was mentioned twice last time. All right, Greb. I didn't like pick out this mic because I liked the rainbow colors, just so you guys know. I just moved to New York. All my equipment is stuck in moving storage pods until Tuesday. Okay, until Thursday. Oh my gosh, Thursday. So another week. Wait, this Thursday? Next Thursday. Oh my gosh. All my stuff is stuck in moving pods till next Thursday. And that has all my like recording equipment. Florida's interesting. This came up twice. Once when they were talking about people fleeing New York to Florida. And then once when they were talking about landlords. I think there could be value in picking up no, but let's see. So you can tell I'm just straight vibes here. But again, because there's 20 shares, I'm going to get jumped. See? I did not do this for the rainbow colors. Although it is, you know, it's a good aesthetic, you know. Someone DM'd me saying it fits my mannerisms. I was like, that's the first positive feedback I've gotten on the mic. All right, let's look at some of these others. Pizza. Wow. Pizza at I mean, all right, I'm going to get jumped again. Watch this. Let's put in my 250 bid. Jumped. Purple Kevin loves the mic. There we go. See, guys, I only want positive people in my chat. Jeez, why is my mouse just freaking out? No, I know. I was just messing. Yeah, these hoppers. Do I do crypto predictions on altcoins? No, I don't. But that could be fun. I might do some co-streams with some crypto streamers, and they're all like brand new to prediction markets. So some of them I'm like, we should just live stream mention markets because those are fun. And they're like kind of feel degen for people new. It's like a perfect market if you're new to prediction markets because they're like fun, fast resolving, and you can like stream them. The other one I was thinking that'd be funny to do is just like throw $1,000 on some like stupid crypto price prediction ones. Exactly, Varun. Market makers love the crypto hourlies. That's what I always say. Like, if you're going into the crypto hourlies and just market buying, you're just gonna get killed. But it's fun. You know, because don't they have like decently high spreads too? Like at least like 5 to 10 cents. What the hell is e-bike doing here at this high of a spread? So some student-run fund called Everhaven Securities that market makes the BTC hourlies. Yeah, guys, honestly, if you're like serious about this, like there really is a ton of money to be made in freaking market making. Are they the team that's called they're not the one that's called there's like two big market makers I know. I'm trying to get a market maker on stream actually. The Larry David mentioned, I'm not Billy, but like seems like the liquidity there's kind of dried up, and like I don't know if I have the will to like learn a brand new mention. Not that I'm not going to, but like, you know, it's going to be a whole new format of study to like get into. Yeah, I wouldn't say manipulate is the right word, Cool Benz, but I mean, how is Curb yes not trading higher? How is like congestion not trading higher? What was the question they asked on congestion? Let's see.
Criticism from Mr. Mamdani's free bus pilots. So you're sort of in the middle on this issue. What's your plan to make subways and buses more affordable?
I think free buses is a mistake. It costs about $700 million. Just to give you an idea that we only raise about $500 from.
All right, you guys like Curb Your Enthusiasm? You like that as a strike? All I needed to hear was that, look at this. Dustin, Loxy, and Billy are all on Curb. But like, all right, I'll ride 46 shares on Curb with you guys. Get me that payday. Yeah, just Curb. All my homies rap Curb yes and Inch no. But look, I want to look at congestion pricing.
criticism from Mr. Mamdani's free bus pilots. So you're sort of in the middle on this issue. What's your plan to make subways and buses more affordable?
I think
30
free
seconds.
buses is a mistake. It costs about $700 million. Just to give you an idea that we only raise about 500 from congestion pricing. It's been done before in other cities. It was a disaster. Don't subsidize
mobile.
Okay, so they mention congestion first when they're asked about making buses more affordable. Yeah, exactly, Varun. $15. Every penny counts.
Mr. Mamdani, can you just respond quickly on the point about the mobile homeless gathering places?
You know, this is something that we heard when we were fighting to make buses free in Albany when we delivered the first fare-free bus lines in New York City history. And what we saw is when we made one bus route free in each borough of New York City, there was no increase in homelessness on those buses. There was no increase in fare evasion in the surrounding area. What there was an increase in ridership of up to 38%.
Thank you, Mr. Mamdani.
Candidates maybe
Sources of noise.
Improve, diminish. The next stop is sell.
Okay, so they first mentioned congestion when asked about making the buses more affordable. Then they're asked about noise in the city.
Improve and not move.
Mr. Mamdani, your turn.
What we've seen is one of the biggest sources of noise in this city is from congestion. And with the implementation of congestion pricing, we've actually seen noise complaints drop in the congestion zone. And so I would continue to find ways to ensure that we have reduced congestion across the city. And one of the ways is by making the slowest bus reach for 1 in 5 New Yorkers.
We have here the author of congestion pricing, and we have the apprentice of congestion pricing.
Okay, we might
I'm
need
the only candidate who's opposed to congestion pricing.
Thank you.
So congestion pricing hit 8 or 9 times in the last debate. But you can see it hit like 8 times, you know, back to back. Wow, this went all the way down to 30 cents? Is that real? Felipe, bye Jeb, you are a mess. Oh, you remember my OG profile name. I used to go by Jeb is a mess. That's only for the OGs who remember my my old profile names. I'm sure Varun remembers. Alright. Not 2,500. Let's see, am I going to get topped immediately on there? Yeah, I am. Look, this is just, I'm getting some orders set. See if I get any crazy fills. Yeah. Jeb is a mess was the OG. 1% trading at 52.51. Don't do 57. I'm at 56. Somebody's in at 57 with me, but now somebody's in at 58. Somebody was talking about e-bike. E-bike. I only mentioned, looks like once. I mean, I will gladly take e-bike no if I can get some. Again, let's do scheduled event start. Yes, silver for Peter Schiff is a lock, by the way. He does love silver, right? Silver and gold. Yeah, I would like e-bike no if I can pick some up. I mean, – look, I'm just going to set out a ton of bids. See what I get filled at. If I get any, I'll probably just get like a touch. Okay, nobody really came on top of me there. Okay, somebody talked about Gaza as an interesting one. Silva said it.
Persian Gulf. I certainly applauded him for bringing peace to Gaza. And
so Gaza hit twice in the last debate, both by Silva. I don't know. I mean, there's also new developments with Gaza, obviously. I mean, they did ask and talk a ton about Israel in the last debate. So part of me is like, are they going to go less on Israel this time? Ackman strike, man, that's... If you guys watched the last podcast, that was Joey's favorite strike. He was jacked up on, I think, Ackman. I thought Ackman hit. Am I crazy? Did it not hit last time? Oh, no, it didn't. Has the whole Ackman stuff even ramped up more? Like, has Bill Ackman been engaging a ton since? Oh, I just saw Jared's in there. Hey, what's up? Can you hear me, Jared?
Hey, man, what's happening?
What's happening? Let me make sure my computer audio's okay. Not much. We got, by the way, guys, this is Jared Soul joining right now. We're looking at the NYC mayoral debate.
Let me mute your stream on Twitter because it's it's like double. Give me a sec.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Yeah, man. So I think look, I'm not big on American politics. I'm not American, right? So I don't have an edge on that market. So I tend to not go into presidential election stuff, or mayor debates and stuff. Basically for election stuff because I just don't know anything about it. So I'm I've got to do a ton of research. So I try to keep where I've got my edge. But I'm happy to talk to you about it for sure.
Well, is there anything you're playing right now? Are you going to play the debate or where? I think you mentioned you're from Australia, right?
Yeah.
Correct?
Yep.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
There was that big Trump. How'd you do on the Trump Australian PM meeting? I guess.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good. That's my edge, right? I know what the Australian issues are, right? So, I think I hit 3 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 or something. I didn't overtrade it, but I went really heavy on China, massively heavy. And that hit, so that covered everything else basically, just with that one trade. And then the others I hit as well. I hit the Netflix earning this morning. I did a ton of research on Netflix and what their situation is. So I did that this morning. That was really good. So yeah, no, it's been good, man. It's been good.
Are you playing Tesla earnings tomorrow?
I probably will be. Yeah. Yep. I haven't looked at it yet. I've been doing some other stuff, but yeah, I think so. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I mean, we were looking at it just earlier on stream. I mean, probably what I like the most is I believe the supercharger no strike. And I mean, looking at the historicals, it just hasn't been coming up. Just looking at the transcripts, so purely based off of just the historical data. But I guess a week ago, Tesla opened up their superchargers to non-Tesla EVs, which if it's something they bring up on the earnings call, they could potentially say it. It looks like only Elon is the one to call it superchargers. Whenever they refer to it, the other people on the call, they refer to their supercharging business unit. So supercharging instead of supercharger. Supercharging comes up a lot more frequently. But based on where it's priced, it seems like no is good value if you assume they're not going to talk about, the whole superchargers because of, that rollout. But it's hard for me to understand and kind of contextualize, because I don't follow Tesla that closely, how big of a deal that is.
Yeah. And see, like, this is the thing, like, I'm looking at, right? Is like, I'm looking at Tesla now, and it's like, man, there's so many things in the mid to high 90s already. It's like, there's like not a ton of move there if you haven't got, like, I'm talking about for someone who hasn't got a lot of capital, right? Like, okay, you probably go battery or energy at 97 with big size, right? And it's probably a lock. But, you know, with small capital, like, them plays just aren't going to do enough for you, right? Like, it's like, it's really hard. So you got to try and find value. I would more looking at this, I'd more look at Grok 4. Like, they might say Grok, but Grok 4, no. Like, to explicitly say Grok 4 at the same price as Supercharger. One, it's not Tesla. Like, it's like, they might talk about with the audio unit if they build it into the audio unit. But for the same value, you're getting Grok 4, no. And it's like not their company. And Grok 4 is such a unique and like exact specific strike that like I find that better value than Supercharger, to be honest.
Taking the no on Grok 4, you're saying?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I think like no, like if it was just Grok, maybe not. But like Grok 4 is like so unique and so specific. That's the same thing I said this morning with ad supported. Like, there was a Netflix strike on the earnings call, and it was literally that this strike was ad supported, and I'm like, when are they ever going to say this? Like, okay, they might say it in the advertising section. They had an advertising section in the speech. I just watched the advertising section. They talked about ads and, you know, different ad stuff, but that exact strike never came up. And I was like, all right, it's never coming up now. Like, after the advertising section, I'm just going to like bury the nose. And that's what I did. I just like heavy size into no, which hit eventually. Yeah, I just like, it's like when they're really specific strikes, I just like to bet against them.
Yeah, that's probably fair from like a vibes based of. I will say Grok 4, Elon himself did mention it in the last earnings call in Q2 2025, but so he explicitly did. I mean, what's interesting is I hope this is not, and I don't think it will be a resolution dispute, but like I don't know why they spelled it Grok 4 without a space. Maybe there's something I don't know about it, but feels like it should be Grok space 4, but I don't think anybody's going to fight that. But
I mean, they were fighting Manchild the other day, bro. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Fighting Manchild the other day. It's like, bro, they'll fight anything. They turned over. They turned over.
Mamdani, right?
Mamdani today, man. I woke up to this and I was like, saw everyone in the Cowshy Discord like complaining about it. And I'm like, I watched the clip and I didn't even realize, because I'm not American, so I don't know how you pronounce his name. I was like, that sounds like how it's spelled. And yeah, they fought and they won. Crazy.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe it.
I was pretty surprised. I'm not gonna lie, but I guess it is what it is. I know a lot of people are talking about bonding yeses on that because I think historically a lot of mispronunciations have tended to, you know, still count. But obviously, I don't know. Contracts are always changing. I don't know exactly what the rationale was, but yeah, that was a tough one. I mean, no matter how hard you try to like encompass everything, it's like so many just niche cases come up, but I don't know. That one was weird, interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Grok 4 is a cool one to look at. Like I said, mentioned it last time, but you know, that was also.
Is it the only time it's been mentioned? Is it the only time it was mentioned?
They also Grok 4 only was released Grok 4 only was released a few months ago, I believe, like around, you know, before like maybe June or May. Like,
yeah, so I'm having a look here. July 9th was like its original date. Yeah. Grok 4 stable release was July 9th, 2025. So when was that? I bet you that earnings call was right on the July.
It was July 22nd, so right around.
Yeah, so it's like on Elon's mind. Like, we've just released this new Grok. I would be more surprised. Like, he might actually talk about, isn't Grok building something else? What's the next thing that Grok's doing? Is it Grokopedia?
I don't know what the latest development is on Grok. I know they had like Grok 4 Max. I remember was talked about a lot. I assume that's already like. Let's see.
You know, Grokopedia is the next thing they're doing. So it's like Wikipedia, but like AI. So that's what he's building next. Grokopedia.
Oh my gosh, that's such a funny name. I love Wikipedia, by the way. That's like the one thing I'll actually donate money to. I don't know. I probably over relying on Wikipedia. I know it's supposed to be a bad thing, but I love Wikipedia. But yeah, I have a little bit of a position also in Gigafactory. I'm a little surprised I got filled here, making me think like let's see. I mean, Gigafactory, just from a pure transcript analysis, it's come up twice in the last 6 earnings calls. But it's priced at about a 70% likelihood. But I guess let's see if we include hyphens, it's going to be mentioned a little more, which will count. So including hyphens, it's been mentioned in 50% of the last 6 earnings, 50% of the last 6 earnings calls. It wasn't mentioned in Q2. But am I including all the types? Like, are there any plural forms I'm going to be missing? Let me make sure.
IES, Gigafactories.
Yeah, that's what I was checking, but they didn't mention it. So it's been mentioned in 50% of the last 6. Zooming out, going back to, what is this? His last 11 earnings calls. It's been mentioned just over 50% of the time. So maybe there's, thin value on no.
I mean, there's probably, exactly right. And I think this is like where, reading these transcripts and stuff are really good because, like, I'm quite new to prediction markets, but I've been doing it like very recently, and I've like learned a lot of stuff. It's like the edges basically come, I feel like, a lot more on the no side when it's a really high yes side, and like you go and look at the transcripts, and it's only been mentioned like maybe 50%, but you're getting like a 30-cent buy on a no, and I'm like, there's just so much, like, that's the edge, like that's what you're looking for.
100%, especially when it's a word that you like. In my experience on prediction markets, and I've traded on prediction markets for like about a year and a half, going back to July 2024 is when I first started. But the best markets are ones where people, when they first see the market, you're heavily swung one way, like you naturally think it has to be this thing. But when you dig a little deeper, it's very apparent that it's not that thing. I mean, the best example of that is the Taylor Swift markets lately. Like, for the top Spotify artist of the year for 2025, everybody naturally is going to think Taylor Swift. She just released her album, yada, yada. But, like, Bad Bunny released his album in January. I mean, Gaines talked about this. That's where I came across the play. He's accumulated additional streams over Taylor Swift for months. Like, it's kind of a lock that it's going to be Bad Bunny, but naturally you want to think Taylor Swift. So that's where you can find value a lot, is because, new users or just users in general who aren't really doing deep research are going to kind of miss it.
And also like recency bias, right? Like you don't think of Bad Bunny back in January releasing his album. You think of Taylor Swift who just released hers.
100%.
And it's interesting you say this. So one market that I've been playing, and one of my good friends like put me onto this market. It was like the first market I played. I'm still in that position. Is the highest grossing movie of 2025, and everyone was on Minecraft movie because it was like released a long time ago. And my mate, he must have some sort of edge in this like market. He just does a lot of research on movies, and he's just a very big movie buff. And he said, "Mate, I think it's going to be the second Wicked movie." And I said, "Like, why? Like, why the second Wicked movie?" And he said, "Well, if you have a look at pre-sale numbers, like everyone thinks it's going to be Minecraft movie or Zootopia. Everyone thinks it's going to be this. Minecraft's been out forever. It was a really hype movie, but it actually didn't do very well. The way it is worded in the rules, and this is like why I really think you should read the rules on everything, is like it's only domestic. It's not worldwide on that market. And you look at like domestically, Minecraft movie only grossed like 420 million, right? When I say only, it's a big number.
Yeah.
But in Wicked 2, they've already done 85 million in pre-sale, and the movie's like still a month away from being released or something. And they've got this big marketing plan where they're re-releasing Wicked 1, and it's like all this stuff. And like we got in at like 16 cents, and it's like it's now repriced, and it's like 45 cents now. But like it's again being actually deep diving it and figuring out why. I think that's where the biggest edges are. Long-term plays where you just like the Taylor Swift thing, right? That I can't think of his name, the guy who made a ton on that trade. Yeah, it's like he just didn't go with the hype. He like had his own analysis and he went through everything. And like obviously he's gonna make, like, it's very obvious now that it's gonna be Bad Bunny. Like, it's very obvious if you look at the numbers.
Right.
Bad Bunny's gonna win it by a mile. But yeah, at the time no one thought that. So it's really interesting.
And then also finding niches too is like super important, because going back to Gayton, for example, like Spotify, Rotten Tomatoes, like those are his absolute niches. He knows how those scores are put together probably better than anyone else, like in the actual nitty gritty details behind it. He knows for Spotify, for Rotten Tomatoes, like who are the reviewers that their feedback is going to go into it. He knows how to find information edges to get the information first before, so investing in a niche, I think, is, really beneficial. Right now, I'm in my mention markets arc, because it's fun content and I'm trying to just improve at mentions. But my old niche used to be AI model markets. And when it comes to like Ella Marina, I was just like an expert at like knowing all the models that were coming into it on a monthly basis and things like that. And like having that with repeatable markets, because then the time investment you put in to really understand the markets, it'll pay dividends for a long period of time, because you can just repeat your edge over and over. I think that's a good long-term play for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it's like for new people like myself, so my experience in prediction markets was really, it wasn't the best first experience, right? Is like I've done the wicked play, like I'm watching it, it's going sideways, like it's doing nothing. The second thing I do is actually Gemini. I get caught in the trap of the Gemini trap, right? Where it's like everyone's talking the Gemini,
like the October release. Yeah,
and I get trapped in that, right? I'm like, man, like all these insiders are betting that this is going to be released, like it's gone up like a gazillion, like I've just got to like follow the herd, right? I don't know, like I had no edge in that market, and so I followed it, didn't do any research, right? I just assumed that like all these people would know, and 2 days later, like it's down at like 0. Like I'm like, fuck, you know what I mean? Like I'm like, god damn it. So like I think that's like, and then I watched the OpenAI one today, and it's correct.
Yes.
Like, okay.
But that's what I was going to say, is like to caution people, because I think new people getting into prediction markets, like the posts that always go viral are like the Nobel Prize post, the post today on the OpenAI browser where everybody's like, oh, there was an insider. How did I know to wager 50,000 on this? I tracked 4 wallets. They had, and I knew. But like the instances like with Gemini 3, where you could have thought you were following some insider or whatever, and if you blindly enter a position without, because I've definitely done that. I mean, everybody's done that, and like, it's, I guess, it's just a bias, or maybe I don't know if confirmation bias is the right term, but like where you're just gonna assume they're always right. But I've seen so many instances where somebody market buying something or getting is just completely wrong, and don't always follow the hype, or if something people are suspecting is an insider or something,
Yeah, I agree. And I wouldn't recommend this for everything, right? But like you hear about all the biggest stories, right? Like the Taylor Swift one you spoke about. The biggest like wins always come when you're against the market. Like that's how you win. Like it's like like your big plays are the ones where you're against the market for a reason. But it's not like blindly going against the market. It's like you have a different perception of what's happening than everyone else. And that's where your big wins will come. And that's what you're trying to find at all times.
Yeah, and I think too for new people, because I mean I did like a mention market article yesterday that I just kind of was touching on. If you're new to prediction markets, you should be in your goal, because obviously if you want to come on prediction markets, just have fun trading whatever on sports, nothing wrong with that. Do that, like I throw money on sports every week, and I know I'm not going to be profitable on college football long term, but it's fun for me. But if your goal is to be profitable long term, you should be as quantitative as possible. And like when I say quantitative, I more so just mean like almost rules based, to be very careful of when you're entering a position, like knowing why. And I think the mindset you should have is being able to conceptualize why the market is pricing something a certain way and why you think it's wrong. You know, because you can't just if you're just gonna look at a market and say, oh no way, I don't believe this, whatever. Like, I think it's really valuable to A, know why it's priced a certain way, and B, know why you think it's wrong in the sense of like where your edge is gonna come from, that maybe the market's not pricing correctly.
Yeah, I agree. And there's like a really clear example of this. The market for the most Googled search person.
Yes. Yeah.
I think this is like a clear example of this, right? Where people just like went, there's no way Pope Leo is being searched more than Trump. Why is he worth more? I don't agree. I'm going Trump. But when you read how Google do their metrics for it, you understand why. And you're like, okay, now I understand. It's like a very, it's almost like a trick the way that Google do their most searched person.
Yeah.
And I'll be very surprised if, and then people are like, well, maybe it's Charlie Kirk, because obviously that was such a big story this year. But the other thing is like Charlie Kirk will probably go into a different section, right? Like he's probably not going to be the most, he'll get put into a different section. When you read like all the different terms and stuff, he probably gets put into the section where if you got Googled because you passed away, like that's its own section in Google on Google metrics. And so he'll probably win that, but he's not going to win most Googled person of the year.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then even too, it's like I haven't researched a lot on how the Google search works because I'm not playing the market, but just understanding like, Charlie Kirk was late in the year too. So if that's going to be something that's just a late term spike, versus someone who's been in the news, all year.
Well, the way it works, right? So it's actually the way Google do it's really silly. I don't understand why they do it this way. But the way it works, so say Trump was mentioned 1 million times last year, or searched 1 million times, and this year he was searched 2 million times. Right? He's only got a 1 million spike, right?
Oh.
Where Pope Leo last year was mentioned no times. No one knew who he was, right? He was a nobody. And this year he becomes Pope and he probably gets mentioned 2 million times. Well, he's now got a 2 million spike, so he wins over Trump. Because it's based off the spike that you get, not off how much you actually searched through the year.
That's very interesting.
That's why that market was like so wrong at the start, because no one understood. If you look at the like graph of that market, like it was just so wrong. And then once people figured it out, they're like, okay, completely it 180'd. After that, like Trump still might win. Like I don't know, like he still might win. Like,
Trump could make sense, right? Because he didn't get inaugurated till January. Obviously, I assume. But you got to think with the election cycle, he's going to get searched a lot, like last year. But
exactly right. So it's like, how much more did he get searched this year from last year? And how big was that spike? And you think about it, then go, well, Pope Leo got searched nothing last year. Like I guarantee you, like under 10,000 searches, and this year it's probably 1 million. It's like he's probably got a very big spike. So Trump is definitely an underdog in that fight, but I mean, like it's Trump. He can win anything, it feels like.
Yeah, he really can, except the Nobel Peace Prize. But
he did win that. True.
I want to look into this market. I'm going to bookmark this. I want to come back to it. Because, I mean, even the prices on Kalshi are like still pretty, like Pope Leo's still 30%. Trump 17%. Seems to still be very undecided. Or like, maybe it's not even someone on this list.
It's super undecided. I think the main three, I reckon, would be Pope Leo, Trump, or Kirk would be my three. But I think Kirk will get moved into a different section. Yeah. So I don't think he'll be eligible. Because they seem to put that into a different section, the people who've passed away. Because obviously when someone famous dies, they get searched a ton. So they put that in a different section. So I think they'll put it. I think it'll be between Trump and Leo. They're like those are the two.
So people are asking NYC debate market. Are you playing the debate market at all, or are you sitting out because it's a more U.S. centric?
It's a mention market, right? I'll play it. Like I'm gonna play it. I'll play it very small. Like I find that more like for fun, right, and content based, and like have a bit of a laugh with friends and like people who are in prediction markets. But I won't go heavy. Like I won't go heavy on anything.
See, that's my issue. I go heavy, and then then I end up down 2,500 this week so far. I got to crawl back.
Yeah. No. Now I know you're like a Kalshi guy, right? Like I understand this, and there's like you're a Kalshi guy. I don't have affiliation with either. interesting, right? Like for people out there who play both books and both sides, the Australian PM and Trump thing yesterday, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is like something that I found really interesting, right? Is like to say China on Kalshi was like, so first of all, I saw the poly markets market come out first, and it was to say China 3+ at 82%. And I was like, sick, like I'm going to smash that, right? I'm going to absolutely smash it. Kalshi come out with their strikes later, and it was say China once at 83%. What do you reckon I did? I took all my money, fucking sold it on fucking poly market, went across to Kalshi and just put it all in there. I was like, it's so much easier just for him to say it once than 3 times.
Yeah.
He ended up saying it like 15 times, so it didn't really matter. But like, that's the stuff, like that's the differences, right? Like it's...
Yeah, definitely just following prices. I mean, back in the day, I would be, on both platforms and just, arbitraging different strikes across them. That was kind of just my main strategy. So it's interesting. Now all the different strikes and everything popping up. And, but yeah, just seeing those like China at 83. I mean, were you able to get actually like decent size?
Yeah. I mean, for me, right? So
yeah,
I started at the goal, right? I played for a week without like a bankroll. So like just playing, like learning the site, like learning everything. I've always been into like finance and like I was into meme coins. I was into crypto trading. I've done a lot of trading in my time.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of sport. I was a pretty big sports bettor back in like my 20s.
Yeah.
Pretty old now. And so when I came into this, I was like, let's play for a week, see how it feels. Like get the lay of the land. Obviously get rugged a couple of times along the way. And I started with like a $1,000 bank balance, right? And so I think my balance is over the 2 sides. I've got it in a spreadsheet. I think I'm up like 10% over 10 trades or something.
Yeah.
And so in like 3 days. And so like, yeah, I think it's like I tend to bankroll very efficiently. Like I'm very good with bankroll.
Mm-hmm.
What was your question?
No. I mean, that's the strategy to have. And I don't think it was something specific, but I think coming from, I mean, the things I'll say is coming from a sports betting background historically, I've talked about this nonstop. I think it's like just one of the best backgrounds to have, whether it's sports betting or poker. I can't comment on crypto because I don't really come from a crypto background. I mean, I experimented with crypto back in 2017 and when it was going through its first kind of big cycle. But I think poker, sports betting, you naturally view things in the sense of EV. You naturally understand, bankroll management. You understand some variation of sizing. I think Kelly criterion is really big in the sports side of things, and obviously that kind of works on prediction markets. So I definitely think sports betting and poker are like some of the best backgrounds. I would say I probably have a poker background. I mean, I used to grind poker a lot live. So naturally coming to prediction markets, like I touched on kind of arbitraging across books. Obviously that's a big thing in the sports betting world. But there's so many other strategies, like in the sports betting world, hammering a team after an injury or something like that, right? Like adjusting to new information. That's the same thing on prediction markets. And I think what you're going to find and what you're probably already finding is the work you have to put in to be a profitable sports bettor on those platforms, like on traditional casino platforms or sports betting platforms, is so much more than the work you'll have to put into just prediction markets. Like the edges there are just so much easier to find. You don't have to worry about limits, and then all those advantages, like they can't pull down their lines, I guess is my point, right? Like if a sportsbook's adjusting new information, they're going to pull down their lines. It's never going to happen on prediction markets. Maybe liquidity will get thin, but I just think it's so much easier. And if you come from that background, I have like no doubt that if you were able to be an advantaged player for any period of time on sports books, you're going to have no problem. Like, sure, it'll be a transition interacting with the order books, things like that, but I'm sure it's not going to be that hard to pick up. And I don't know if Australia had exchanges, like if Betfair and stuff was already big in Australia back in the day, but
yeah, exactly. So we it's funny, right? So I was actually, poker was my thing, like when I was really young, like when I turned 18 all the way to I was 21. Poker was my thing, and Australia actually banned online poker. It's actually banned in Australia. You can't play online poker here. and which sucks, right? Like that was like I supplemented my like university income by playing poker.
Yeah.
And that's where I let. And the two words you said is Kelly criteria. Like if you have criterion, if you haven't like heard of what this terminology Kelly criterion, people need to go and learn this like before you really get serious about like sports betting, prediction markets. I feel, because like it is like the essential for like betting, and being consistent basically, and not blowing your bankroll on one bet.
Yeah, 100%.
This is the thing, because like I feel like this is very similar to meme coins, where you can get very excited really quickly and just blow your whole bankroll. Really quick.
Loxy in the chat is saying he's a full Kelly type of guy. Loxy was he came into prediction markets, was probably more content focused, was down $1,000 in the beginning, then started taking it a little more seriously with mentions. He's now crawled out of the cave. He's back into plus profit. I don't know if you're still plus profit. I saw a few plays, but I assume you are, Loxy. So now I think he's going to come back. But on your point to Kelly criterion, I mean, I'm pulling it up here. What, and I've talked about this on a few streams, but guys, if you're watching, you don't know what Kelly criterion is. The goal of it is to help you size your trades, right? So what it does, it's taking a few points. So first is it's looking at what's your current bankroll, right? So you can imagine that to just be, if you deposit $1,000 on a prediction market, and that's what you're willing to kind of trade with. Like I always say, guys, always start small. So it could be $20, doesn't matter, just whatever it is. And Kelly criterion is going to take what your bankroll balance is. You're going to input what odds you're getting on the prediction market. So maybe you're getting something in at 50%, and then you input what is your own fair value that you're calculating for that, and it'll tell you like what's an appropriate size. You'll note there's different types of Kelly. So like terms you'll hear a lot are like full Kelly. Full Kelly is the most aggressive like sizing you could possibly do. So I don't think anyone really is going to ever recommend full Kelly. Half Kelly, slightly more conservative sizing. A lot of people will recommend half Kelly. Honestly, for me, I'm probably like maybe a 1/3 Kelly or like 1/10 a lot of the times. And sometimes I'm limited by liquidity, but other times is like, a lot of the times it is just numbers on the screen, but like, you know, losing like $3,000, like I've had pretty big losses before. I mean, obviously I'm up like a little over 50 grand, but variance always happens. So I think like as people trade more and more, dealing with variance can be hard, and it's definitely, I hate dealing with variance. I mean, obviously everybody does. So it is hard to size up, but I do know, like I've talked about this week, like I want to start sizing up, especially when I have like huge edges. That's why on the announcer market Sunday, like, yeah, I lost 1,200 or whatever. I don't remember, 15, I don't know. But I mean, the edge I had there was like unbelievable. Like Kelly would have told me to have put 10K on that. I mean, I couldn't have done it because there wasn't that much liquidity, but you know.
What's this on? What's this on Inch? No. Please don't tell me this was on Inch. No.
Look, I can't give away all my secrets.
I'm an Inch yes better. That is going to be my thing. I'm just going to bet on every fucking, I don't know if I'm going to swear, I assume I am. I'm going to bet Inch yes on every NFL game I see. Like, I'm just going to do it. I don't care.
All right. We will forever be counterparties. We need to get in a call one day off stream and then just both share our data, and then we'll talk about our reasoning.
Yeah, definitely, Matt, definitely. I think the big thing where this is different over like poker and stuff, and to sports betting in a way, is that this is like more community based. And so like you mentioned Loxy, I think Loxy was like the first content I really saw in prediction markets when I like decided that I was going to like move into prediction markets, and really give it a good shot, and be more serious about it rather than just like having muck around. I think Loxy was like the first person I saw.
Did you see him on Twitter?
And they're like,
or
yes, yeah. I'm a big Twitter person. I don't really, have like Instagram or like anything like that. I'm more of a big Twitter person, and like I stream on Twitter and stuff as well. But like I stream, like I'm opposite time to you, right? So like I stream at night, like so it's like very early morning for you. And you know, I saw Loxy first, and I was like, Mention Markets in my mind just made such good content. I was like, it's live, it's good dopamine, and I like actually believe that like the next like line, like because right, meme coin traders were like last cycles in cryptos, like streaming world, like they had their shine, and now I think it's gonna be like prediction market, Mention Markets especially.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a very, very good content vehicle for a lot of people. Like I think you're gonna start to see, like you obviously see Min Dynasty doing it, who came out of the crypto world as well. Obviously yourself and Loxy are really big. I think you're just gonna see more people, like obviously Thread Guy, who I know quite well. He signed a good deal with Polymarket. He's doing a trading challenge. So you know, people are starting to take notice of it. And then you see like you know, Colby just like sold his company and like his streams coming back, his podcast for like $400 million. So there's like content is still king. Like I still believe content is king. And I think prediction market content is going to be massive coming into Q4, Q1 next year.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm excited to see it expand outside of Mention Markets too. Like that's what I started with because it was such easy content and nobody was doing any live trading, and I just think it's so much fun and it was easy content. And then now they've been blowing up the last like month with, like you mentioned, like a lot of people are now starting to live stream trading and all sorts of things. I'd say my long-term goal is to do more like a news informational stream built on top of prediction markets, kind of, because there's so much to cover on like markets in general. So I think that's the avenue I'm going to try to go into. But I just think, I mean, you saw there's that synthetics trading competition. I mean, I don't know anything about crypto trading, but I assume there's some live component to that you could track. So like anything that's live that you can cover, you know, like at the moment is, I think, going to be great for streams. And Mention Markets are king for live content on prediction markets, but more and more is going to keep popping up.
Yeah, I agree. And so there is like the actual like contributing factor, like one of the main factors why I got in prediction markets was I saw Easy doing it, and like I've known Easy for a long time. He's been he's helped me in so many ways with so many different things through my crypto journey. Even when I first got into like NFTs back in 2021, and so when I saw him going to prediction markets, that's what inspired me. I was like, all right, let's go have a prediction markets. He's actually in that what's it called? Simtex, whatever it's called.
Oh, he's in the
trading
competition.
thing.
Yeah, I saw that.
He's in the competition. And it's like you can go and have a look at like the leaderboard and who's winning at the time. So you can cover it quite easily. And I think there is a market for it too.
For sure. Yeah, Easy
well, so.
Eats Bodega he's a funny guy. I've never talked to him personally. I mean, we've like, I think just briefly DM'd a couple times, but I saw he's doing a ton of Mention stuff as well, and just a ton of prediction market streams. Now he's starting to get into more, which is really cool to see. And then it was funny because I had my best clip ever, which was the whole Powell speech on Pardon. He was my counterparty, which was hilarious because his clip was like blowing up with him losing all this money, and then people were commenting my clip below it. It was just like, that was such a funny day for prediction markets, just seeing like all.
I just want to see people grow, man. Like when I remember when like NFTs were big, and that's when I like got all my following, and that's why like I've got no following anymore because all the NFT people have left. But you know, when NFTs were so big and we were making NFT content, like watching people grow in that era, and now watching like the next era grow, and so like you know, it looks like I've got a lot of followers, but they're all NFT people who are not here anymore because NFTs are gone, pretty much. And so, it's really, really interesting. And like the content will be king. I did see someone say that, don't you think this could possibly affect manipulated speeches in some way?
I would love to cover that,
think,
but you go.
I actually tried, like when I say try, it wasn't a very big effort. When Prime Minister Albanese was going to Trump, right? I'd bet yes, aluminium, right? I was like, yes, like it's a big core issue. It was the one trade that I lost, the one strike that I lost. But I was like, this is a big issue for us, obviously with the trade tariffs and stuff. And like he put a video up of him like going to the US, and I was like, hey man, can you ask Trump about aluminium? like obviously got no replies or anything. Got a few comments, but I was like, you know, can you just ask? And I think like that's the thing, right? Like if you're part of his writing stuff, or if you just got some word in it, you don't even have to be part of his writing stuff. But if you're like part of one of these people's entourage, right? And you don't even have to like tell him to like mention it 100%, but be like, what do you think about this? If it's on top of mind, he's probably more likely to say it. And so like I do see people like not gaming it, right? Manipulating it, right? But like gaining an edge in this way, right? Like he sees me talk about aluminium on his comment, and he looks at his phone. He's like, "Oh, I've got a comment from this kid talking about aluminium. Actually, I need to ask Trump about that." Cool.
Yeah.
Puts his phone away. All of a sudden, he asks Trump about it. Bang, I win. You know what I mean? So I do feel like there is like big edges to have. You know, if you've got some, you know, even just a comment on a Twitter post or something, right? Like this is what the meme coin kids used to do. Like they'd make a meme coin about someone, right? Say someone said Logan Paul, right? They make a meme coin about Logan Paul, and then they'd go into Logan Paul's comments on his Twitter and be like, "Yo, Logan, we made you a meme coin." Logan Paul would reply, "Go, oh, thanks, I guess." Price would moon. Because like he's acknowledged it. Holy shit, like he's part of the team. He's like he's gonna put $1 million into it. Like all these conspiracies. Yeah. And I think it's the same thing, right? It's like you can basically try to create yourself a bigger edge by like just like mentioning it in his comments. I think like we'll see that. I think that's the next thing. It's like people are going to be going to like the NFL commentators going, "You need to say inch in every game you commentate from now on."
Please, no.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think like in its current state, given what most of the mentions are covering, I think it's very unlikely. And my main reason in its current state is because liquidity is very thin. And almost the vast majority of the mentioned markets center around very big figures, right? Like would Powell ever mention something, you know, like because has like, of course not. You know, would Trump ever? No. Again, of course not. Like these are thousands of dollars versus he can make millions if he tweets about Ethereum or something, you know? So I think at this current scale, it's not going to be a thing. But what you are seeing is the categories are expanding for sure. So as there's more categories and maybe you get less and less of big public wealthy figures who are less likely, maybe that's where it could start to get riskier. And definitely as volumes and liquidity increases, obviously the incentives would, you know, increase. But I mean, it's kind of just a natural, like I am no fan, like there's a lot of people on prediction markets that like insider trading because they say, oh, it's truth, you know. I'm personally not a fan at all of insider trading on prediction markets because, and you know, because you can't have, like, market makers aren't going to be on your platform if they're expected to market make for markets that are going to be dominated by insiders, obviously, because why would you post liquidity when somebody's going to have a huge information edge? So I think it's very negative for prediction markets as a whole, and I think kind of it's why, like, especially as the types of markets that, like, as soon as there are more markets, at least on like the Kalshi side, like ever on, you know, equities and stocks, and like obviously like their KYC, which as much as like crypto will definitely hate me for saying this, like I think with the types of markets that are starting to get offered, like you want KYC. Like if you're gonna have any markets around, you know, to have integrity, but obviously a lot of people would hate that, but you know. So I think it's a difficult issue, but I mean, it's there's only so much you can do. I mean, it is quote unquote, you know, like it's illegal for all these markets, but to your point on like small things that you could do to influence it, you know, it gets to a gray area. So I think the best thing they can do is just try to have markets that are very like big names, like the Powells of the world, the Trumps of the world, to not incentivize it. But as soon as you get to like, what will this streamer say on a stream, and he's like some small streamer, you know, if you have a mention market for that, it's like,
yeah, it's getting hard at that point.
Yeah.
It's like even like mid-tier streamers, like because the thing is, right, is you could just be like, go into their chat and be like, what do you think on this? And they're just like, they just answer you. And then bang, that's a yes. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's really hard. I think they've got to stick, like you said, they got to stick to really big figures. I like earnings calls. Earnings calls just tend to be a big yes fest from what I've found in the last few that I've done. Like, there's a lot of yeses. Like, I think the strikes are really good. And like they're picking the right thing. The thing I've noticed as well is it's very open to what strikes you can get. If you go to Cowshi's Discord, there's a sheet that you can literally add the strikes that you want. And if like they find it fine, then you can like get your strikes that you want, and they'll price at whatever the market prices it at. But yeah, I think a lot of people don't take enough time to like realize that you can like make your own strikes if they're good enough. Like you can make your own market.
Yeah, no,
you know what I mean?
Especially if you have like an edge on a market, you know what I mean? Like that maybe other people won't price in. You request this strike. You always got to be suspicious. People asking for specific strikes, DM them, say, why do you want this strike to be added? What's your
like why do you want this word exactly? Like why this? But
what's your angle?
Yeah, I like exactly. And so you know, it's like we're so in infancy, right? They're doing they're making the markets for only mentioned markets, right? I'm not talking about all markets, but mentioned markets is such infancy. Is that like they obviously can't keep up with all the speeches and all the things happening, right? So it's in a spreadsheet in the Cowsey Discord. You can literally go and edit it yourself.
That's how you get ones that are just so new that like I said today, there were like 3 Trump speeches, and I don't think any of them were on the books yesterday as speeches. So it's
no, they weren't. They weren't.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, we got NFL, but we don't have NBA. They missed. So the NBA second game, Lakers versus Warriors, is on the sheet. I don't know if they've made the market yet, but the first game wasn't even on the sheet. So the first game didn't even get a mention market, but I think the second one will. I don't know.
Wow, I gotta dive into that. That's gonna be those new ones. Like I said, they're unsolved. I'm ready. Well, look, man, this has been a ton of fun and really great talking.
Yeah, man, 100%. I think it's like, look, I'm happy to talk. Dude, I'm so like addicted already that I'm like happy to talk at any time. Like, all right. I'm just like looking at markets all the time, brother.
Let's do it. I'm pumped. Like I love your background. I feel like we think about this similarly. So let's definitely keep in touch. Glad you joined.
Definitely, man. Appreciate it.
Yo.
Oh.
Are you guys just leaving? What the heck?
Oh, Foster just joined. Wait. Okay, I gotta. My fiance's looking at me very Amber, or that was a made up name.
That
That was a made up name. No. 10 minutes.
That's mine. Wait, why'd you just say my real name?
Oh, I didn't mean to say your real name. That was totally. Okay, we're gonna go for another 10 minutes. My fiance is gonna be.
You can go.
No. I know. No. I'm joking. No, we can stay on. I'm just messing. But Jared, have you met Foster? Do you know who Foster is?
So I have never met Foster or talked to him before, but I did see he caught the Sabrina Carpenter dream yes from memory, if my memory serves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
boy.
Was cool.
I love shit like that, bro. Like,
I mean, were you on the somebody was on the play today in the Trump speech with me in here?
No, I didn't.
It was.
Wasn't
the Associated Press was outside the Oval Office, and they zoomed in, and you could see Trump making revisions to his speech he was written for a speech today. And I saw the page said Chuck Schumer, and I slammed him to say Schumer in his speech. And then he read the page out like word for word. It was insane.
What was the market on that? Like, what was the strike price when you got on? Yes.
I mean, I first entered at like 80 cents. And then as the speech was going on, the price kept going down. So I got a lot at like 50 cents.
Yeah. Actually, so this is an interesting thing I found about mention markets, right? Is that if your thing doesn't get mentioned in the first 5 minutes, people panic and they sell off their positions. And so I found the biggest gains I found on mention markets, and I did this with the Netflix one this morning, right? Is that I bought a little bit right, at like 66 cents, yes. And their gaming sector has been like very much talked about. And as the speech as their earnings call went on, the yes for gaming just kept going lower and lower. I'm like, they're going to talk about it. They're going to have a section on gaming. And so I ended up buying my second lot at like 40 cents and like at 35 cents. And it was the second last segment. It was like, she's like, they had a question in. It's like, all right, this question's about gaming and Netflix gaming. I'm like, sweet, we're in. And it just like ticks. And I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. I find that's like an interesting thing with mention markets is like people panic their yes buys really early in the speeches or really early in the calls.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if you like know the format more than like someone else might know the format. It's really really good.
Wait, Foster,
Yeah,
can I show what happened on that Trump speech today? Can I show the pic of the?
Who?
Or I was gonna show like what it or.
Yeah, no, I don't care. I was gonna tweet it, but I don't know.
Oh, I'll wait.
Do
you want me to wait till you tweet it, or I'll?
If you want, I'm trying to get on my PC right now. I'm just having issues.
Right,
I'm setting up a home server so I can have some nice stuff here.
Are you ready, Foster, for the? But Jared, I guess to explain, Foster is like he's like big mention market trader. I know you're now doing a lot of different stuff, Foster, but are you ready?
But I still love mentions.
Are you ready for the NBA announcers and the MLB announcers going live?
Oh yeah.
I wonder what the market's going to be for NBA. Like I'm looking at the strikes in the spreadsheet already, and I'm trying to figure out where the value will be in any of these, and I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't know what the value is going to be.
It's so funny though watching those markets and just seeing how the prices move from market like going back to being unsolved. Like you look at the NFL announcer mentions, the first one, and then you zoom out 7 or 8 mentions later, and you look at how much different the standard prices are. Granted, some of the strikes are going to be dependent on stuff, right? But I'm talking about like the consistent strikes. Like on day one, when they did the NFL announcer markets, I think they used to have a strike that was pick or picked. So
yeah,
that strike was priced at like, now they don't have it anymore. They just have pick six, but that strike was priced at like 70 or like 80% because people were
It was like 70 to 80. People were expecting it to only mean like interceptions because that's like the term for it is picked. But then like nobody realized, wait, this gets said because they say he picked up the first down, he picked up 5 yards, he picked up the ball. Like just I think crazy. That was a crazy one.
It was like a virtual 100% strike that it's just like, and you could get it at like 80% for like the first couple mentions because it was unsolved. People weren't thinking about it, straight, which is why, again, I'm so excited about new mention markets because like the new NBA ones, the MLB ones, that's like an opportunity to,
I'm looking in the sheet. They've removed the Lakers Warriors game out of the sheet. But I don't see it in the markets yet. So I wonder if there's like a transition period where they're loading it onto the site. Maybe they're not going to do it. Maybe they just decide they're not going to do it. I'm not sure. I can't see it, but I can see in the sheet they've got Cleveland Knicks tomorrow. They've got that. They've got that in the sheet. They've got things like parking lot, concussion, alley-oop, downtown. Might be an interesting one depending on who's playing in the teams. So there's like some really good like there's already some really good strikes there. I'm like, oh, there could be like value there depending on what people think.
So Dustin and Loxy are saying Jake is gonna add them this week, but couldn't get it done today. That makes sense. But
yeah, fair enough.
But man, how frequent are these gonna be? Like, if they do NBA announcers, MLB announcers, every freaking day, man. The opportunities. Oh my gosh. I'm going to take a break from content for like a week. Just dial in on all these mentions.
I'm telling you, this season's going to be crazy. Like the MLB World Series is about to like happen, right? So there's like 7 games there and then that's done. But you're going to have NFL and NBA all summer my time, all winter your time. Like it's going to be crazy. Like it's actually going to be legit crazy.
I like to think I had some part in blowing up mentions because they are just literally have gone 0 to 100. I made a post about it a while ago, remembering the days like 6 months ago where we'd be lucky to get like 1 or 2 mentions a week, and it'd be like a boring Caroline Leavitt speech or like, just like, or a Powell speech.
Hey.
Nothing fun, but what? Are you mad I'm calling out Leavitt?
Yeah.
You're a Leavitt fan?
No, she's pretty boring. I don't know. I mean,
mean-
she just, those speeches where I made like my like 100 grand. I mean, now.
Oh,
Freaking
yeah, they were your...
4 games and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and also Jake at Kalshi, who just joined, he's carrying the mention market, Ben says. That's very true.
Yeah.
Shout out Jake, guys.
I'm glad Kalshi saw the potential in it, man.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I had a guy talk to me about this yesterday, and he's like, what market do you prefer? Because I don't have affiliation with either, right? I can play both books. And I said, look, mention markets seem to be better on Kalshi. They just seem to have more volume, more people go there. Like that's their like niche, like this younger like streaming gen. It feels like they're more like the cooler kids. I like referred to them as the Apple, and then Polymarket is more like your politics and like your Microsoft bland stuff. Like that's how I see it. And there's like more liquidity in some, more liquidity in the others. But mention markets is all Kalshi, like from what I can tell. Like it just seems to have like better spots.
Definitely volume wise, right now, like they're blowing out on mentions, and also in terms of the array of markets offered, they're just super focusing on it. And like people are saying in the chat, like that new Jake person at Kalshi is just churning these out. But yeah, I think it's fair. If you look at volumes, it's like on some of the political ones, Polymarket's still in the lead. And then for sports, obviously Kalshi's very, very dominant now. And then mentions. But I mean, mentions to me are my favorite thing on prediction markets, because they're, to me, the most prediction market native market, in the sense that, like, to my knowledge, they've never existed anywhere. So they're purely, like, you could always go on a sports book and they'd sometimes do additional offerings for the Oscars or for who's going to win the president. Like, I know some offshore books offer it, but like mention markets, like that's purely prediction markets, and it's just so fun. Yeah.
No, I agree. And like it's again, mention markets are better for short-term like dopamine hits. I think you're going to get a lot like short-term traders. Like you're not going to get the long game players, right? Where you're going to get like a lot of these short-term like me, or I come from meme coins and stuff. Like, that's who's going to come to this. I think I saw Orangey was like playing mention markets the other day. He was like the biggest spearhead of getting normies to like get into meme coins through his YouTube channel. And so now he's like looking at mention markets, and it's like that's where it's moving. And it's all based on liquidity, right? Like the more liquidity we can get, if Kalshi seemed like just more liquidity coming into it and like more bets being placed and all this, they will put more resources to that department. Basically, they'll be like, all right, this is what's like killing it. Like we're going to put more stuff here, more games, more markets. We might actually change it from a Google spreadsheet to something else. They'll see that, and then that's when it starts to take off, and that's when you get all this new liquidity, and that's again where the market becomes inefficient again, because all this new, blood of people come in, and it's like they don't know how to play, and like they don't understand how it all works, they don't understand the rules and the rulings and precedents and all these things. And so yeah, like that's the goal, right? Like you get all these new people in, and that's more markets to play with.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, I think they are seeing on the volume side that it is getting pretty big, where in a lot of the last few mentions, like they've broken through 1 million on a mention market, a random daily mention market, and that 1 million of volume is during the day. So it's like, they launched the market the day before, and in a single day it's getting 1 million. I do think mention markets are never going to blow up to be that big. Like they'll never be the bread and butter for these markets, but like sports, for at least the near-term future, is definitely going to be the biggest driver of volume. But mentions are, like you said, with like meme coin traders, they're like the best market to bring in new users, or one of the best. So that's why I think they're putting so much focus into it, is not because it's going to get them a lot of volume, but just it's going to attract so many new users because it's such a fun type of content.
Definitely. I think also it's like a more volume heavy, right? So it's like okay, you might only get $1 million on this one market, but we're doing 50 markets a day, right? Or like, oh, not 50, but say we're doing 20 markets a day, where there's only one election a day, or one election every 4 years, right? So they might make 40 million volume on that one election, but there's only one every 4 years, where we're putting 1 million through 20 times a day. So I think like it's just a lot more volume driven rather than a lot more market driven than just one-off events. But you can see, I think the big thing is everyone can see the potential. Like that's the big thing, right?
Yeah, and it's crazy too seeing like these Trump speeches get added within an hour and they're doing 100K volume. I'm like, what the heck? Like, it's like the ones that were launched today, like most of them I think all cleared 100K. So to your point, it's like just been crazy. But I got to wrap up, but this has been like super fun. Definitely hope you both will be back on the stream in the future. And definitely let's keep in touch.
Definitely, man. Appreciate it.
Have a good night, man.
Have a good night, you
Peace
guys.
out. I'll be back.
Take care. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in tonight's stream. Varunk, yeah, come on, join in VC sometime. Even if you don't want to join in VC, we can just talk. We should talk too sometimes. We go way back. You're an OG. But thank you guys for tuning in. I'm sorry. I know I said I was going to cover NYC debate. This really wasn't that much research. It kind of turned into just like talking, mentions, everything. These were just such fun conversations. But we will be back tomorrow with a big NYC mayoral debate stream. I mean, it's not going to be that huge, but it's going to be big. I got a lot of fun guests coming on, so probably going to start the stream at like debates at 7, maybe 5:30, maybe 6. But we're going to go through to the end of the debate. Should be a lot of fun. Take care, guys.